Here's another SAT prep question. This one has to do, it seems like it's a slope of a line question. However, I think that we're going to find out really this is not only an algebra question, but also big time it's a geometry question. Threw me off a little bit when I read it. When it was given to me today, I was like, well, okay, anyway, let's look at it. 2 points. C, the point -2, -5, and the point E at 3, 2 are reflected about the line y equals x. What is the slope of the line containing the points to which C and E are reflected? And God, I can't tell you how many people just freaked out with this question. And the reason is that, well, I don't know, when it depends at your school when geometry is taught compared to Algebra 1 and Algebra 2. But it's this thing, and this is what we have to remember. We have to go back to our geometry books, and there are all these rules for translations and reflections, and one rule is this, that the reflection, and as I'm writing this, I hope that you're looking these rules up, because it's just something you have to have memorized. The reflection of the point xy across the line y equals x is point, check this out because you're not going to guess this, y x. The x and the y values of the points are switched. So as this looks like algebra, because it looks like a slope problem, and it is an algebra problem, we have to also go to our geometry part. So here's the geometry part, and this is that part. I'm asking you to believe me when I tell you that these problems are going to show up on the SAT, and they're going to be really, really easy or absolutely impossible. So you just have to memorize these things. I suggest you make flashcards. They're really, really easy to make with these rules for reflections. So when you sit down for the SAT, that when you see it, the question, you'll have that list of rules in your head. It will make it really, really easy. Save you a lot of time on the SAT and definitely boost your score. And that's what we want, isn't it? So we have the point here, -2, -5. So it says here we're going to switch those x and y values. So it's not -2, -5. It's -5, isn't it? -2. The point. And the second point here, E, we had the point 3, 2. We had the point 3, 2. So our other point is going to be the point, exactly, good for you, 2, 3. All right? From here, now we can go to our Algebra 1. This shows up in Algebra 2 also. And we remember that slope, M, monter, French for to climb, is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Remember, it doesn't matter which one you take as y sub 2 or y sub 1, but once you take them, they have to line up. So if you take this as your y sub 2, then this has to be your x sub 2. They have to the last names have to match. So if this is y sub 2, this has to be x sub 2. I'm going to take it this way if you don't mind. You know what I'm going to do for myself so I don't screw this up? I'm going to call this y sub 2. And because it is, this has to be x sub 2. And you know what? Let's just get a good score on the SAT, right? So we'll do 3 minus, right? Look at this for 1 second. This is also something that gets people a lot. See this negative sign right here? So it's y sub 2 minus y sub 1, but y sub 1 is -2. So -2. This negative sign in front of the 2 is from here. This negative sign right here is formulaic, from the formula. So remember this, right? Remember this. Over, and then we're solving for the slope of that line made by those reflected points. This is x sub 2, which is 2 minus, and x sub 1 is -5. So here's another negative sign, right? Well, what I do here is I just stop for a second and I multiply. This a negative times a negative is a positive, so that goes to positive. Negative times a negative is a positive. This goes to positive, and we have 5/7 as our answer is equal to slope. So I hope that was really helpful. Let me say this again. you're going to have to know this, okay? And I trust that you do know that, but you're not going to take the SAT and discover that. And some of these things that show up repeatedly on the SAT, just year after year after year, this is among them. And if you just go and make flashcards for translations, reflections, and rotations, it'll just be a lot easier than trying to figure it out. I think a lot of people lose a ton of time on the SAT, so this is an opportunity. Look, you guys, this only took you 5 minutes and 25 seconds of your life. I hope it was worth it. Come back and watch this video again, and I would really appreciate your comments. And if you know of any other types of problems that you find on the SAT, drop them in my comments because I'd like to help you prepare.